Okay, good afternoon. Happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, have a little look. What we got in so far? Okay, Karina, good morning to you. Disco, how you doing? Armanaz, how you doing, buddy? So Karina, you sent me something yesterday. I can't, it's in Spanish, I think. I can't read what it says. So you might have to translate for me. So we have got very little volume overnight. I mean, we've gone up, we've come down, and now we're working up. It's just shockingly low, that is. So where are we? Market open time. So where were we yesterday? Market open time about here. So we'd had quite a bit more, but we have had very little. Ben, how you doing, matey? So just wanted to show. We had a look at this yesterday and discussed this yesterday, and it did exactly what it looked like it was going to do. So at the time, we'd come off the top and we were looking like we were making two legs, and it came right down and bounced right off the bottom of that channel. And then two, then we had one leg up and then a second leg up, and we closed up here. And then as soon as the market opened again, it pushed straight up to the top and rebounded. So you can see how it works here. So, it can give you a fair idea. So seeing this, based on what I can see here, if nothing changes, we've got some news coming out, various different bits of news. So if the news changes anything, but you would think this would work down, wouldn't you? You would think so. We kind of had the same. We had that drop, overnight drop, then we had a pullback, and then a move down. So it'd be interesting to see if this carries on suit. So market is open anyway. So let me just shove that out of the way. So, Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? Beach Bum, how are you? Scruffy. So I was going to wear my Christmas hat today. I had my hair cut yesterday, and they butchered me. Well, this morning, rather. They butchered me. A little bit short than I normally like, so I was going to wear my Christmas hat to cover myself up, but it didn't look too bad, I don't think. So let's have a wee look. What is going on here? So Christmas is really coming up super quick now, isn't it? So I would probably go there, actually. It's hard to say, really. It does look like a channel. It's just continuing up. I kind of had it like that initially. But I don't know whether you think there's a break there. There probably is. Probably go with that initial bit, maybe. It's hard to say at the end of the day. So there could be a break or there might not be a break. It's one of those things, isn't it? So it's been a quiet week for me. I've literally done nothing. I took a trade, got out of it for a tick. It did work in the end, but we had a little bit of a flicker, which kind of unnerved me. I did take one trade on one account, says $150. So I got a tick on 20 accounts taken away. So that's like $160. So I'm up about $300 over 20 accounts, which is not a lot, but it's weird. A couple of weeks ago, I did two trades within 5 minutes. So it's surprising how things can change, really. You might get a slow week and then you might get a really good week. But that's fine. I'm happy to sit here and wait for something. But I have spoke to a couple of the guys in the forums, and they've said it's been an awful week. I know Marco hasn't taken a huge amount himself. So news we've got coming up in around about just under 30 minutes, which we'll keep an eye on. This is Jan's app. This is which gives me kind of visual and verbal warnings. But for some reason, the normal one I used to use, which is on this bottom lower chart, is just not showing. Now, whether I just don't quite know why. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's always useful to have two lots of news or two different apps showing your news, just in case something happens, because you do not want to get stuck in a trade come the news. Okay, so what I'm looking at the moment, what is Bookmap telling me? Well, we've got some strong orders up there. It's quite a way up, that is, at 900 up here. Is that about right? Yeah. So it's hard to say, really. I mean, this is a fair move up. I mean, based on the daily, unless we're just going to come up, sorry, 10,000, unless we're just going to come up and kind of kiss the top again before we come down, or we could get a break. It's hard to say, really. But we've got orders. Let me put some of these orders up here so I can just keep an eye. So we got 890, which is there. We got shorts there. We got buyers at 880, which is there. So we've got buyers here and sellers up here. Does that mean we get 2 legs down and it pushes up some more? It could do. Depends. If we get strong sellers off this top, they may absorb them buyers. So there's not really much you can do here until we get some kind of breakout and retest. But there's definitely more sellers up here than there are buyers, I would have suggested. So we'll see how we get on anyway. What's your thoughts on the Apex sale? It's different, isn't it? I think it's okay if you want to grow your accounts, but for newer people who are just testing the water, it's expensive. But it's like anything. The one kind of thing I liked about Apex is the evaluations were cheap. Now, I didn't even mind paying the 140 because I knew I'd blow a load of evaluations trying to get there. That's kind of the way these newer prop firms are working. If you look at Take Profit, I think they charge, isn't it, something like $105 all in? But the trouble is, if you blow it, you've lost $105 evaluation, so it's pricey. But I don't know, what does it work out? 80 something dollars for the 2, which is kind of in the ballpark. If you can make money and you're building accounts, I think it's okay. But for anything else, I mean, I've got 20 accounts anyway, so I wouldn't. But yeah, I think it's good for some, not good for others. So newer traders who are blowing stuff a little bit, then I not so good, I suppose. But what I will say is, if you've got 5 accounts that you're about to pass, that you may have paid, I don't know, 80% off, you're going to be really pleased with that for a certain, because you may be turning up thinking you're going to pay $140 and all of a sudden you're paying 6. So if you're in the process of building accounts now, getting ready for payday, you're going to wake up feeling really good about that. You prefer not to pay a fee. Yeah, see, I prefer cheaper evaluations and a little bit more for the fee. That's because I trade them aggressively, but it's not the wisest thing to do, obviously. So if you trade them sensibly, the only issue I have with a lot of these offers, and they all do them, is you get a certain window. So it kind of forces you. So I think the window this time is about, is it 5 days or 6 days? 5 days, something like that. So you're under pressure if you want to get that cheap payment to trade them kind of aggressively. And that's where you can end up blowing stuff. So, Laufey, how you doing, buddy? So it depends how you trade them. But we've got a little correction here on this chart here. I'm sitting tight here just at the moment because I'm not really sure what prices are doing at this level. We've definitely found some. So it is 2 legs back. It is actually a second entry long. But we've had a channel break new high, so I don't know whether we're going to end up, having, it looks like it's working. I didn't know whether we're going to end up having something like this, but it does look like it's tested. But we've already tried to test the highs, so there may be some to take that, but I would stay away from it going into the top. But it clearly worked. There was no bar on my other. What's it? But I dare say there's probably going to a few take it. As we're getting close to the top, for me, I just kind of leave it, just in case we get a triple test or something like that, or a failure or something. It would have made my points anyway. So I mean, it's no good on here anyway, but I think it kind of worked the same way. So actually, that wouldn't have worked for me. 3 points, it would have to push for it. It may push up now anyway, but what was it like here? So if I got in there, tick above it, no. So I'd be a couple of ticks off there. Now, I mean, even if I got there right on the close, well, it's hard to say. I may have done, I may not have done. I would say she's usually got to push through, so I doubt it. But we've clearly got some resistance up here, so I'm just not sure. But looking on Bookmap, it doesn't look terrible because we've got orders up here. We've got orders at 87, so I think it probably get above there. But I just didn't really want to go short at the top here because you don't know whether it's going to reject off here or you don't know whether it's going to push through. There are orders at 77 down here. 77.5, maybe 77 3/4. So there are buy orders below this. But equally around about 86. There are sell orders, which is about there. So we got kind of even buyers and sellers above and below. So it's a tough one. So I'm glad I left that. Now it may bounce, but for me, if I saw that coming back, I'd be on the phone crying. But you can see their orders down here, so my guess is it's probably going to stop there. It may not. We may get a bounce. Second entry long, higher low. It's tempting. I would say it's tempting, but I'm sitting tight at the moment because I can see these orders at 77.5. Slightly above, so about 77 3/4. Right. Hold on a minute. 877 3/4. Yeah, okay. So I made the right decision to stay out of that. It wouldn't have worked for me. It would have been a tick short. Depends what you go for. If you go for anything less than 2.5 points, you'd have been okay. But for me, it's risky when we've already bounced twice going long again. But we've had two legs back, so this may push up. It's hard to say, but I'm sitting tight here. I thought that was 77.5. Why did it not get those orders, or did it pick some of them up? It may have done. 77.5. So there are orders there. 77.5. Touch below. In fact, yeah, around about here, which is one tick below there. So that's what I mean. You don't know what we're doing at the top. You don't know whether we're making range highs. Now, based on looking at the 10,000 tick chart, this is telling me it looks like it's just having a little double test of it. So my guess is, based on this, it's probably going to come down. So going along at the moment is making me nervous. And going along when we've already had tests, I mean, well, there you go. When we've already had tests to the top is another reason just to stay out. Now, there are sellers above here because if sellers think this is going to come down, they're bound to drop orders up here. If they trigger, happy days. If they don't, then they don't. But I left that and I made the right choice. So, that type of setup isn't terrible, but going into support for me, it is. So, would I even want to go short here? Not just yet. So there are orders right up here. This to me looks like it is starting to work down, but it's still a little bit too early. What I will say is, looking at the 10,000 tick chart, that is showing me it's likely going to go down, but that's just based on what it's done up until now. There are no guarantees. So, sorry, I'm my track record is roughly 5 to 1. I get 1p out for it. Yeah, I'd say mine is like that, mate. Yeah, for every 5 I get, I probably pass 1. When I was doing the rest of these ones to get up 20, I passed 4 in a row. That is unheard of for me. But I like to trade the NQ when it's really moving quick, because if you can get some direction and catch it right, it'll move quick. So I had 4 in a row, which is, and I've ended up having 8 or 9 before and failed them all. I just wanted to get up to 20 while, you know, we had that cheap, the cheap PA fees. And I hate doing evaluations, to be honest with you. So if I get to 20, I don't have to bother doing them. You know what I mean? Is this a 2-tiered channel? It may be. I don't want to just assume that off the top. So I got mixed feelings about this. We may come up and, I don't know. Especially as we got orders still up here. So where are they? 85, 86. So about 86, which is there above this. 90, as we know. There, whether it'll get there. 87 as well in the middle. So there's a few around this area here. So it may, there's always a possibility. That kind of looks like, I mean, we're not kind of pattern traders, but that looks like a bull flag to me. We push up, we make a bunch of attempts, and all of a sudden, woof, up it charges. So, you know, look at the 10,000 tick chart. It's hard to say. That to me, my guess, possibly still down, but this, it may catch you out here. So I'm just sitting tight. I want confirmation, really. We got a channel there. Maybe an overshoot. May go a bit higher. I don't know. Seeing these orders up here and knowing how the market uses them as a magnet, my guess is it will probably go up before it comes down. So if you took that bearish bar there, I'll be amazed if that doesn't push up and stop that out. Yeah. So that you've got to be careful drawing those. I just put it there. It looked like possibly the start of a 2-tier, but you can't just take that really, regardless of whether you think it's a failure or whatever. You've got to wait for confirmation or a lower high. But with these orders up here, which unless, you know, as I say again, unless I had bookmap, I wouldn't know that there were sellers up here. Chart break, new short. Same again, very tempting if that finishes. But I can't do anything here with these orders up here. In fact, it's a little bit higher than 60. It's about there. Which, funnily enough, is right above there. So we may get a big bearish bar, and that may come down, but it's too risky with these big orders up here. Or larger orders. I feel a bit like when doing an eval during a $40 activation fee, was trying to pass before the end of the promo. Yeah, that's the thing, innit? I mean, the initial payment is the, what is it, 70 something dollars? That's the initial payment. And you've got kind of 5 days. Now, they usually give you a day or two after because they can't sell you one today, the offer finished tomorrow, and if you pass it today, they can't stop that deal. So they'll give you a day or two extra. But you know, I think sometimes if you take the offer, they should give you as long as it takes that PA, that eval to pass, and give you the same PA fee. Otherwise, you're paying $70 odd, and you've got to try and pass it in 5 days. Now, not everyone wants to do that. So, you know, let's have a look. Yeah. Nothing I can do here. That does look like a bull flag. I can see there are sell orders up here. I think it's risky going short here. It hasn't triggered. Whether it does or not, I don't know. In fact, if this triggers, I think that's a nice failure. Because you can have stops there. But we are finding support here, so you've got to be a bit careful. I would like this to come down to the EMA and then turn. Doesn't look too bad here. There is a failure there. It's very tempting because I can see their orders up here. You can have shorts there. There's no doubt about it. It's a bit congested for me, so that's the best Now, it may work, but look, it's congested. And same again, there's a load of wicks here, so it may work. It probably will, but this is not a super clear trade to me. Now, if it gets above there, it may push up, but it may stop that out, come down and stop you out. I know we've had difficulties getting up above here, so uh, it's a bit risky, this is. Now, if you look here, there's just 142 contracts popped up. Whereabouts? 80. Where's 80? Right below there. So it's hard to say. It is a failure, but it's popped above there, but then it's slowing a bit. Now, I guess it would probably work, but it is congested, so it's a little bit risky. I don't want the risk going long in, because if you took that one or whatever, there was one up here, wasn't there, that didn't work. But if you like bull flags and you like the patterns, then that might be another reason for you to take it. News in about 10 minutes. Good point. Uh, let's have a look. Does look like it's going to work. See, it would have to get to there for me. Depending on where you got in. Let's say you're getting a tick above, which is, let's say there. It would have to hit this. So news, yeah, 9, 10 minutes. Now, there are orders up here, so my guess it's probably 87.5. We at 87.5 or not? Just above 87.5, which is there right at the top. So it's probably going to push above there. In fact, that's where I'd have to get out. But I'm still looking at this. Okay, so it went up. Yeah, that would have just hit me. So I'd have been okay there. But you can see that's not the news that's done that. I think look at the 10,000 tick chart. It's pushed right up and touched it, and we're pulling back. So you'd have just made that. Otherwise, I'd likely get stopped out. So it's just a bit unclear to me. So yeah, I think I'd have been okay there. That's where it would have to hit. It went up by a tick. Mind you, sometimes I've seen that before. It'll push through your profit. If it comes back quick enough, sometimes it won't trigger you. I guarantee every time it hits your stop, you're out of it and you've lost. But sometimes I've seen it push up through profit. I watched Alpine do it. I was watching a bit of one of his trades a couple of months ago, and it shot up through his profit by about 3 ticks, came back, didn't stop him out, and he ended up losing the trade. But this is a pretty strong move up here. So it'll break above there, I don't doubt. So it's a strong move there right off that EMA. We pull back to the EMA. So yeah, it would have worked. It is getting close to the news, but there's reasons to take it, I think. But there are 4 bars stacked side by side, so you just don't know if it's going to trigger you. Come down, hit those orders, and then push higher. But it worked in the end. So orders at 90. That's strongest at the top I can see on this chart. There's obviously some further up there. So if you like that as a bull flag, then I think there's a good chance this is going to continue higher. See a nice reversal now. Yeah, I mean, look at this 10,000 tick chart. We're going out the top. As long as they don't close out the top, I'm all right with that. But so we've come off the top, haven't we? So it'd be interesting to see. This on the 2000 tick chart looks like it wants to try and continue up. So we'll see. Trouble is, you never quite know if we got a decent reversal until it's reversed, and it's kind of too late then, isn't it? You never quite know how far a market's. Sometimes when you get a massive move and you think, "Damn it, I could have capitalized. I never got in," but you don't know it's had a massive move until it really finishes, and you think how big it is. But at the time, you can only kind of see what's happened the last bunch of bars and what it's, where it seems to be aiming, but you never quite know when things are going to turn. Okay, so these orders are at 900, which is up here. So we are only 100 points away from that magical 700, 7,000. So we can't be far away from all-time highs here. Let me just have a look. No, we're not. Let's have a look. So all-time highs was about there, which is 54. So where are we now? 90. So yeah, we're about 54 points off all-time highs. We've had this move up, a little bit of sideways. We still could pull back yet and test this EMA. We've pulled up with. So it's hard to say whether this thing's going to go up or whether it may be testing these levels, and it may come back a bit further. Clear some of this out. Okay, we've got news for 5 minutes. Clear some of this out before it has its kind of big leg up. That's if it does. You have an issue. Sorry, mate, I didn't read that. You got an issue with Bollocks. What is it, Lofi? I don't know too much about Bollocks. I've stayed away from them just because you can't copy trade them with other companies. So I'll help if I can, mate. So what's the problem you're having with it? So I'm just starting to read the other comments just to see if someone's helped you. Okay, so news is in about 4 minutes. Okay, let's get these bits out of the way. So you can see it's starting to blacken a bit, isn't it? People are coming out of trades now. There is some at 80 down there, which is there, closer than I thought. And we've got those at 90. Now, is it going to get to 90? Who knows? Maybe. So we've got a little micro with a Nula. We've come up, tested this, and had 2 legs down. So is there some kind of a larger channel? Maybe. But that could be an overshoot. I could take that like that. Yeah, if I take that like that, it's even more of an overshoot. So maybe it is. It's hard to say. I've seen Max say there's an overshoot, and I've also seen him do that. He tends to do that if it kind of fits around the midline, which maybe it's not perfect, is it? Maybe it is. It touches there okay, so maybe that's okay. Uh, we can see orders up here. So I think there's a good chance this comes up. But we got news coming up in a minute and a half, so we need to be flat anyway. So little channel with a break. I wouldn't take that trade there really because it's a break of that. I would like to see now. I think really for this to go higher, or certainly, I mean, not at the moment. It's probably not going to do much because you can see all these orders are getting yanked. There are still some up here, but it's all going black book map. So it'd be nice to see it come down here and just test these highs here and have two legs down, and then hopefully maybe push up. But we've got news coming up in about 15 seconds, so make sure you're not in a trade. It is miserable out there. Okay, news. Here we go. Nothing too exciting, I don't think. You wouldn't really notice the news was there, would you? Yeah, so we broke above a little there, but then it came back. So maybe we've had channel up here with a break new high. Who knows? May still come back. But yeah, we had a small break here, carried on. We had a small break there, carried on. It's only maybe 5 points, so maybe on a bigger scale, it's not so important. Okay, so I think that's as much as we can do with the news. Just, it didn't really do much, to be honest with you. Had a kind of little push up, and that's about it. But you wouldn't really notice. You wouldn't really know there was news there. So uh, you can do it's a little bit congested here. So at the moment, the only stronger orders I can see, there is some at 80, but there are a bunch up here at 900, 300 on contracts. So orders are stopped at the moment or died down a bit. So, in all honesty, I'd expect it to aim for this, which is why it's probably pushing up. There are more aggressive buyers here, but it has kind of gone up a little bit, settled here, and it's going up again. So, there's just no entry, really. You can argue a higher low. There's a doji and there's 3 bar stacked side by side. So, I'm just not a fan. You don't know. You don't know whether we're going to have a break here. Didn't quite get to the top, so who knows? But yeah, you can see how strong those orders. There's about 400 orders there within a small space, and there's not much passive buyers or sellers here. But look at the aggressive buyers there pushing this thing up, 6 odd million compared to 4 odd million. So there's a third more. Big sellers here. Now we're coming to the top of this channel, so it'd be interesting to see what happens here. Sometimes it doesn't quite get there and then pulls back. Excuse me just a second. Sorry about that. It's Christmas, isn't it? I thought I'd pour myself a small one. Right. See how far this thing goes. I can take that up a smidgen, I think. Just a touch. So, what's happening there? Something happened with his book map. So, yeah, I was going to say, we pushed up and touched the top. Have we hit it? Did I miss something there? I didn't think we'd hit that. We've actually taken the orders, haven't we? We've taken them sell orders. Yeah, we have. It could have been yanked, but that's leaving it too late to yank them, that is. So now they're sat there. So now, let's see if this thing does move back. We still have got slightly more aggressive buyers here, so yeah, definitely we got double the aggressive buyers here. You can see that's why it's pushing up a bit. So how far is this thing going to go up? Orders are dying off now, to be honest. And mind you, there's some up there. Interesting. So there's that measured move. We've got close to it. So aggressive sellers are climbing up now. Yeah, they've just doubled. So let's see if this thing pulls back here now. There's still some orders there at 900. So this may pull back before it pushes down again. So this is interesting. So I'm just going to increase this, just grow this up a bit. So we've had, let's put that there. So we've had that leg up there to there. And we've had what looks like sorry about that. Another leg up. Where's that gone? Right to here. So we've had a leg up with a correction and a leg up. And it's broke out the top or had an overshoot. So we may get a really strong move back. It's hard to say. Usually when we get an overshoot in that direction, it'll either have a bigger correction or come back. So we did have an overshoot there, and then we had kind of this kind of correction. It's hard to say, really. I mean, does look like we may be. I don't know. I'm just guessing there. Let's leave it at that. I am tired today. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. Watching cricket. So there may be an overshoot there, so we may get something like this. If that broke above that little bull bar there, it has, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. Or has it? No, it hasn't. No, it has. And let's see if that comes back. As I say, there are sellers there, so maybe sellers are saying if this comes back a bit, they'll, who knows. Okay. That's about ready to clip those orders. I'm not really convinced it's a super. It's still kind of working up. It's just peaked out the top a bit. Uh, you get some bigger orders coming up here now, right in the middle of this lot. So 85, 300 odd contracts at 85, which is there below this. So we're going to get 2 legs back, and then around about 86 up, 95, 96 up here. Which is say 95, 96 going 95 and a half. So this may have 2 legs. See if it comes down and picks these orders up. There's 350 odd contracts at 6895, which is right where that is. 2 legs back, clearing out liquidity here. We'll see. Trouble is, sometimes I find it hard to go long when we've had 2 strong moves up. But sometimes these things just keep going. When you think things can't go any further, sometimes they just keep going. Probably adjust that a fraction. I don't think it's an overshoot. It's just very slowly working up the top. An overshoot would something clear that pushes out. To me, it's still climbing along that line there. So for me, I would say that's not an overshoot. I've gone from here and here, little poke out here, that's nothing. On someone else's chart, that could be a bullish pin. It's a bullish bar, but it could be a bullish pin bar. That looks okay, that looks okay. So that to me is not an overshoot, so I'm not really concerned with that too much. But you can see these big, thick red orders here, right here, which is kind of in between here. So it depends which way the biggest pull is and whether we get more aggressive buyers or sellers just getting in. I mean, I wouldn't be buying here for starters, but chart might look slightly different here. But for me, if I wanted to buy this, it's got to come down here somewhere. There's that measured move. In fact, I can take that down a smidgen, right to the tick. Still blows my mind how accurate these things can be. Would you really want to buy right at that measured move? you'd be thinking that surely that's where you'd be taking your profits. So the trouble is, different charts, you might have an hourly or the 15-minute or the 5-minute could look much better. So, in fact, let's have a bit of fun here. So that's the 5-minute chart. I mean, that is super strong. It's got two leg. Well, in fact, look at the measured move there. It looks exactly the same. So let's try the 15, see how that looks. Yeah, that's just like one move up in it. I mean, that's a big, strong move up, really, isn't it? If you look, so you've got a channel here. That would probably be an overshoot, but hmm, interesting to look at other charts, isn't it? Let's have a look at the 2-minute. Yeah. It's surprising how close sometimes they can look, but you can clearly see there's a leg and another leg, and we are struggling a little bit here, so it depends. The buyers can push it up above this price. What does the hourly look like? Hmm, interesting. So, 1, 2, 3. You would expect to find some resistance there, or some profit taking, or whatever you want to call it. But the trouble is, sometimes these things just keep going, and you naturally think when you come to a boundary like this, like a measured leg. This is as high as we've been for a while. A lot of sellers here. Maybe sellers want to get in a little bit early. Who knows? I don't know how many times where I've revenge traded in the past. I've got short in places like this, thinking these can't come down any lower. 15 minutes later, they're 15 points higher. It's weird, isn't it? When you go on tilt, you seem to do the complete opposite. Instead of just buying it rather than selling, it's weird, isn't it? You seem to do I do anyway. I seem to do the complete opposite. If we're going up, I haven't got the patience for it to come back here. I want to sell it. It's weird how you do that. So, clearly finding some resistance. So we've got orders right above and below here. So they're just below 900, which is around about there, I'd say. And there's orders at 05 and 07 half. There's 05, there's 07 half. So let's put it about here. And at the moment, price is right between these two levels. And that might explain why it's going a little bit sideways. But it only takes a quick nudge in the right direction. Take out a few stops, which relieves that pressure and makes things flow a little bit easier. Clearly see this measured move's playing a part. We haven't done that all the way up here. We've continued on. Same here. And all of a sudden we get right to this measured move. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars there. Can't get above there. They've all tested it, but can't get above it. 97.5 the strongest, which is so as the measured moves played out, I would be, for me personally, cautious about thinking about going long, even if we get a couple of legs down. There's strong sellers there, but right above there. So if you can see strong sellers there and you want to sell this market, Why would you wait? Why wouldn't you sell it right here? Okay. Now, is this going to make an attempt or is it just going to turn? Stronger orders. The strongest are about, they're sucking price down or trying to pull price down, I think. So between 7.5 and 5. So 7.5 and 5. That goes up a little bit. So there are buyers here, not a huge amount, but enough to pull price down. And then 5, which is there. There are 200 odd contracts up there. There's 100 odd above, 100 odd below. So there's a fair mix of buyers here and sellers here. So buyers are probably going to go, we've got a break. If it comes down here, we'll buy and ride it up. And sellers are probably thinking, if we have a break out of this and hit this new high, maybe that's a place to short. Might be easy to do if you've got an order with a big stop. But we keep stops tight, so we've got to have that confirmation where it's going. Where the hell's that come from? Pick that up somehow. Have I? I think we can probably get rid of that now. Actually. Okay, see, we're still finding some resistance up here. Actually, we've made a new, or have we? No, we haven't. We've made a matching, or have we? We may have done. No, matching high. So, 05. So the first entry long off the EMA. That one there. Are you out, are you, or what? Trying to strong. It is. Trouble is, we're finding some real support up here, so you never quite know where this thing's going to flush down. See, for me, I got sellers up here, buyers down here, so that gives us a kind of a tunnel effect, doesn't it? Well, tunnel effect. Why not I just use the word range? It's been much easier. You got a point and a half, did you? Good on you. Yes, I mean, if you go for smaller profits, you can take some of the trades that I probably won't. You know what I mean? So, for instance, this kind of bar, you may say triple test, probably at least going to come back to the EMA. If you've got a point or point and a half there and you're happy to take that, then there's no reason why you can't take that sort of thing. Why has this moved? This with me, I'm a coward. No, I tend to, I don't even take kind of riskier trades, but I try not to anyway. Thomas Wade do it sometimes a year. I mean, there's nothing wrong with reducing your profit to take some profit. If you like the setup, but you may only have a couple of points maximum to the EMA and you think it's probably just going to come up. Mac takes them all day long. You take them. So yeah, that's okay to do. That's okay to do. Trouble is, for me, we made that measured move exactly. So sometimes, obviously, these measured moves can be where price starts to turn. So I don't know whether now, my experience is the bigger the channel, the bigger the break. When I say bigger the break, the more of the, what was the word he used? Hey, bud. Daryl, how you doing, matey? I do like several take profit according to the ATR. Yeah, a lot of people sort of adjust things compared to the ATR. So that worked. I don't think it would have worked for me. No, it wouldn't have worked for me, 2.5. But how did he word it? Someone worded it that the bigger the channel up, the more the longer way round it takes to push up. Now, for me, that has made a matching high. So I think that's as good as played out. I'm happy that I'm not necessarily trying to make a new high. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a second entry long here that this thing reverses. I wouldn't be surprised. I certainly wouldn't take that because I would be, taking a risk. But, if I had to choose, and I've seen this scenario before, if I had to choose, my guess is this is likely to reverse. Now, you see these orders at 5 here. You see the dynamics have changed a little bit. You get more orders down here. So 95 is down here, right at the bottom. So I think this is going to come a bit lower. Now, it may push up first and then come down, or we may get a second entry long and then pick up a failure. But 1, 2, 3, 4 times, that section, that 3 times, let's say, try to get above price. We're right at that measured move. So I think if you're going to sell something after a big 2 legs up and a measured move and a break and an attempt at a new high or whatever, you will be definitely getting traders looking to short this, looking to sell the top here. Now, whether it works or not, I don't know, but it's hard to say, really, isn't it? There are orders up here. Not a huge amount. There's 180. There's 182 down here. So there's more orders down here, which... so it's hard to say. And there are some more appearing down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this reverses now. Now, when you just kind of have a gut feeling, bit of an instinct, bit of experience, seen the picture before. Certainly not confident enough to trade it. But just looking at what I'm seeing, when you see a certain picture a certain amount of times, a lot of times it'll kind of move the same way, but it's hard to say, really. Uh, So let's see if we get a break here and then see what happens. So we know that we've got those orders there. So there's 180 odd contracts there. There's some around 2.5, which is about here, below this measured move again. So we could come up, push above there, clear these two levels. That's but my guess is I think this will come down before it hits that level. But if this is reversing, I would want more of this type of thing. And I don't know whether we're going to get it. See, I forget what I heard say. A matching high, that's as good enough as a new high. We've matched the high, basically. But I wouldn't short it just yet either. So, I kind of like having these little sort of bets with myself just based on what I'm seeing. But you do get a feel from, after you've been trading a while, don't you? Just instinct and experience of watching what price does again and again. But I certainly wouldn't trade it because we've gone up, we come down, up, down. We may go up again, may even push up. Who knows? Uh, yeah, I mean, if you think you can make profit, even going for a point or something, don't turn it down. If you're confident enough on the trade, trouble is, whereas I mean, obviously putting the runners aside, I only kind of need, most of the time, Mac's runners will get stopped out anyway. But Mac will take 3 trades. I kind of take one. So the good thing about taking a little bit more profit, you're not kind of under pressure to take trades. See, I got that wrong. I didn't think that was going to do that because we made a matching eye. But if we'd have had a higher low here, that's kind of what I thought we made when we made trap traders and then come down. But it's moved up. As I say, I wouldn't have traded it that way. I'm not that confident. Uh, so maybe kind of a little spike, a little channel there with a little overshoot and a bounce. But uh, so we didn't actually hit 05 there, but those orders are gone. Maybe they were just a little bit lower. Sometimes they're a tick or so lower. So we've definitely made a break and a new high. No argument there. slow, and it's getting slow. I hate it when it's slow. I don't like it too fast, but I hate it when it's slow. It bores the hell out of you. Okay, so channel. You may argue there's a break there. I'd say something like that. So it does look like two legs back. This leg came down a little bit further. I wouldn't have automatically jumped in there just in case. It's a bit hard to know exactly where it's going to go because obviously the more times we can't get through there, the more chances this thing's got of failing and turning down. But now we've broken above liquidity there. We have got slightly more aggressive sellers. Well, we got double more aggressive sellers at the moment. So not a huge amount of sellers up here. But a few buyers down here at 90.95, which is kind of down here. So who knows? Get rid of that. So sellers at 95, which is there as we know, and 90 as well. Down there. So let's see if this thing turns. Come on, baby. Down you come. No, we don't. I would like it a little bit more lively, but not Trump lively. No, he changes it from quiet to scary. I'd rather have quiet than Trump lively. He does like it. I think he's the only sort of president I know who's been an avid tweeter. And as we know, tweets from prime ministers, tweets from presidents or prime ministers for that matter, can affect the markets. As we know, we've found out quite a few times. Whether he's been told to settle things down or not, or advised to, we haven't had any. Oh, Wilson, we haven't had any major issues, have we, lately? But maybe going back a month, 2 months ago, we had the odd spike. It happened 2 or 3 times one week. It's scary. Great if you're on the right end of it, but if you're on the receiving end of it, it can be pretty gnarly. So whether he was advised to sort of tone that down, trouble is, you don't really pissing off financial people, really, do you? I dare say he's got financial investments himself, which probably won't help. But the beauty about being in these markets, we do have these news events which are clearly noted, so we know when to stay out. Because traders don't really like surprises. Yeah, Christmas is coming quick, isn't it? 5th already. Unbelievable. So just thinking, actually, when when do we break up? So this will be my 5th year in the markets for Christmas. Amazing how quick it goes. So let's have a look. Okay, so Monday is the 22nd, Tuesday is the 23rd, 24th is Wednesday. I don't see the point in trading Christmas Eve. I'd probably do Monday and Tuesday. Certainly Monday anyway, even if we turn up and have a chit chat, sing a few Christmas carols, drink a bit of scotch, and have a right laugh. Who knows? Whether we trade or not, I don't know, but we can always meet up, can't we, and have a chit chat, say our Merry Christmases and so on. And then probably, let me have a look. So 26 is a Friday, 29th, 30th, 31st, Monday, Tuesday. See, I think it was a year before last, I had a complete break. I wasn't in a great place, to be honest with you, and I feel like I needed it. But I feel okay this time around. So I think Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Saturday, Sunday off. That's 5 days in a row. 2 days of work, then 2 days off, then 1 day. Then so yeah, I'll do the Monday, the 22nd. I'll turn up on the Tuesday, and maybe do an hour or something. We can say hello and stuff, and then may come back 29th, 30th. I'll have a look at the market, see what they're like 29th, 30th. But usually, I think the year before last, or was it the year before that? before that. I did really well actually in December, strangely enough. Certainly after Christmas. Uh, Israel doing its thing. Russia and Europe doing stupid things. World's a crazy place at the moment, isn't it? World's a crazy. Why can't people just learn to get on? Who wants war and poverty and all that sort of stuff? Surely you want a nice, peaceful life. I don't get it. I know a lot of people get brought up, don't they, from kids into these kind of situations, and I'd do anything for a peaceful life. There's more important things than fighting over stuff, isn't there? Like drinking good scotch. That's more important to me. So, is this thing going to absolutely tank? I wouldn't be surprised. Conflicted now. Yeah, I agree, Marco. It's just up, down, up, down, up, down, isn't it? Now this is played out. My guess is I thought it may do it here, but my guess is this is probably going to work down. But I said that once before. So, but we've had a little break out of this uptrend. When we did it here, we had a stiff kind of pullback, but who knows? You took all dick last year, or half and some days in January. Oh, December. Sorry to laugh. I just read the first four words. It says I took all dick last year. It's just sounded a bit. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I know what you mean. You took all December. Good girl. Good on you. Yeah, I read that wrong. That's my sick, perverted mind. Sorry, my apologies. And half of January. It's definitely good to take time off. That's for certain. Definitely good to take time off. I know I was in a bad place, I think, year before last, and I took the whole 2 weeks off, I think. And I felt so refreshed coming back. So it's good for you. It's definitely good for you. Yeah. You got a sick mind like mine, Daryl. You have. Yeah, I just read the first few words. I took all dick last year. That's my mind going off. I know what you mean. December. That'll be my stream. I'll have a talk to you over Christmas, Karina. I will. Don't worry about that. I will. I'll wish you Merry Christmas. I may even pop round for dinner. How's that? You can cook me Christmas dinner. Can't remember the last time I had a dinner cooked for me. I was a chef years ago, so when I met my wife, you kind of take on certain roles, don't you? And my role was just the chef, so I tend to. We've been together now 20. Our anniversary is in about a week and a half. 22 years, I think. We've been married for 22 years, so I tend to do all the cooking. So I don't mind, to be honest with you. For bam, people are bloody. So channel, push up new high. Is this coming down? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't automatically assume it because we could have 3 bounces. It may push up. I'd be looking maybe to trap some longs in here. I wouldn't take that because if this is a channel, I'd be going short right into the bottom of the channel and it may trigger and pop up. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the start of a move down, but it is just a wee bit early. I'd like to get some sort of strong confirmation here and some bulls trapped. So I can't see many people buying that because it's an inside bar. There's bound to be people going, oh, we go triple test, this is going up, but not for me. And not only that, that short is taking us right into the bottom of the channel. That's if it is a channel. Which, as I say, I tend to do these a little bit early, but I don't rely on them. I just like to say that is certainly a potential. So let me have a look. So I've got orders down here. It's starting to show that there are more orders south than north. So 95, which is right there where it was. 90, which is there. So these orders have stayed here. 96, about 96 as well, which is there. It's going quiet further up here. There are a few orders here, which you'd expect if that's a channel. 91, 92-ish area. That's fine. 91, 92 is around about there. Now, if we have a bit of a pullback, I wouldn't be surprised if it clips this area. But we broke below that liquidity there, any liquidity there. Now, I'd like to see a little bit of a bounce and then a bit of a drop. And when I say a bounce, may have people buying here. I don't know, but 95 is that first move, which is there. So let me remove that. Now, there's always a possibility it may end up being like this. I think that's a bit steep for me, but it may start out like that. Maybe we get moved down there and a correction and then a bigger channel. Something like that, but that looks about right to me. I'm definitely getting a strong impression this is reversing now. We have our anniversary to, what's you since the beginning? Ah, that's nice. That's nice of you to say that. In fact, I bought my wife a bottle of champagne yesterday. What was it called? It was the same champagne we had when we got married in Kenya. Piper Heidsieck. With the red, there's a red label and a yellow label. And our meal we had on our wedding day, they asked us what we wanted. We had carbonara, so I'm going to cook her a carbonara as well. So I kind of like to do those things sometimes. Sad, I know. So I like that. I like that. So I'd like to see a pullback here and then a drop. So yeah, I've been streaming now 3 years. When did I start? I started in December, I'm pretty sure I did. Pretty sure it was December. 3 years. I've definitely improved. By how much is questionable. Improved. I feel a million miles away from where I used to. Sometimes you got to sit and think. I remember walking away from the charts and my heart used to beat like crazy. Okay, so we have got a few sellers here and some at 05 up here. See, Marco's got that as a range. My honest opinion here, this thing is going to reverse, but I could be completely wrong. Let me take a quick screenshot of that. Does look like it's pushing up, doesn't it? Maybe. I mean, it's only speculation. Who knows what might happen? This thing may rocket up. It just doesn't. Look, it looks like it's trying to, doesn't it? If that was a pullback, I wouldn't have expected to get that high, to be honest with you. I'd have expected it maybe to tick above there and then sell off. But it's hard to say. I mean, if you think about it, that might not look too bad. I mean, it's early days yet, isn't it? I prefer these reversals a little bit more aggressive than that. I saw your dogs. You're a disaster. I certainly was. I certainly was. In fact, I may go back actually one day over Christmas and reminisce and find out how bad I was. But we all start off that way. We think we're clever and we think we've got everything sorted out and everything, but we haven't. Where's that come from? Keep seem to be picking up these channels, but yeah, we seem to think. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this before when I did 6 months of currency, and to be fair, I can't remember much about it because it was all a bit of a blur because I knew sod all really. But then I came across those two that brought me to Mac. And I traded for a month. We just happened to have an uptrend. And I started just buying here on a sim. And I thought, I'm winning nearly every time here. I could make money. And that's when I gave my job up. I thought I'd cracked it. But I had this little voice in the back of my head saying, it can't be this easy. Strange, isn't it? Strange. So, is this what we're looking at? Now, we've been up. We've broken the highs. We've not quite got up there. So my guess is this is more than likely coming down. But you'd have to take a really clever trade here. Now, the only issue I have there is you may argue we've had a small break, which I suppose, yes. But I wouldn't want to get caught going short on this thing to push up. I can't see it myself, to be honest with you, but I could be wrong. I certainly wouldn't trade it unless I saw an absolute gimme. You may say there's a lower high there trapping that, but there's nothing else down there to go short really. It's too early in my opinion. It's still quite choppy, and I think sometimes you get in here, it may come up here again, tag this, take you out, and then come down, but that's dropping quite strong. We don't know nothing. Yeah, isn't it weird when you start trading? No one, I can put my hand on my heart, no one has got an idea what they're really in for. Trading is way harder. I don't think I've ever met anybody that says, actually, I found it quite easy. There are probably some traders who find the discipline and the patience and deal with it better than others. Of course, there's bound to be. And there's probably some we're all good at something, aren't we? There's probably natural traders out there, maybe. I do believe Dan, it didn't take him that long, a few years, I think. I don't know what other experience he had prior to that. I had no connection whatsoever to the financial system. None. I knew absolutely nothing. So I know Marco, I think he worked for he worked for a city bank or something. And I think they taught him to trade to a degree. But I don't know too much about that. But I had no connection at all. So it depends what your background is, really, whether you've been around traders. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, there could be a channel even steeper than that, to be honest with you. But let's put that there. Well, I'll tell you what. We're okay at the moment, I think. But I wanted to go down. So let me have a look at this. Now, my guess is that we were likely to find some. We had a couple of bounces. Eventually, it pushed up strong. So there's an overshoot of this bigger channel. As we know, an overshoot in a lot of cases will result in a bigger correction, a full-out reversal, or sometimes at a break, come straight up, make a new high, and then down. So this is coming down to this level. So I haven't paid too much attention to this, but Mac does say these bigger channels work exactly the sorry, these bigger time frames work exactly the same. This is the 10,000 tick chart. So there's like 4 bars. There's one of these bars for every 4 that we have, but you can still see it's working in a bigger channel, and that one did. Then we had a break and a new high. So this is an overshoot. Now, when we get an overshoot, we know a lot of the time price will reverse. And okay, so I've stopped that there, and it's starting to hold. So I can probably drop this top a fraction. So it's not looking too bad there. So far, I think we're okay. But we've had 2 legs down and a new low. We had a break in, attempted a new low, and then we had a little bit of a move down, cleared out any liquidity, and went up. So my guess is there's a good chance this can be a reversal, but you've still got to be a bit careful. I don't think there's any way there could be something larger there. If there is, we've already had a break of it. If you do want to do something large, we've already had a break, so there's nothing you can do there. There's no kind of spike and channel there, but uh, there's always the possibility we push up, we pull back 40, 50%, whatever, and we do the same, like a bull flag. Uh, but I don't know. Looking at the moment, I can see the biggest orders, sorry, biggest orders down below. There's not as much up here, but it's a bit too early. You want to see some strong rejection off this top line, really. Let's get rid of that now. Yeah, I'm not the only one who's kind of thinking there may be something larger there. It's a bit too early for some traders, but I tend to mark things a little bit earlier just out of curiosity. Uh, so we've hit these orders down there. Let's see where price goes now. Now, there's always a possibility there could be something quite a bit steeper. Uh, touch, 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 touch. Drop out. Let's leave that there just at the moment. Excuse me. Let's just kill that colour. So that's an area of interest. Leg, leg. So it's definitely reversing, in my opinion. I had my thoughts. I was thinking here actually when we pulled back, but we did push up and then 2 legs down. Down we come. So we're now back into this channel. So are we going to get a correction and then further down and maybe drop at the bottom? Who knows? But I think now looking on the daily, it looked to me like we would shoot a decent pullback. I had a look yesterday. So if I look on the daily, tell me what you think. So we're up here. We have 2 legs back. We're up here. We've got a break new high. My guess is we come back to this EMA or at least have an attempt. We're going to have a bit of liquidity here. So you can see there, we've had that little stem. So I wouldn't be surprised. A little bit of congestion here if we had that pullback. We're hitting, we're clipping these levels up here, aren't we? We've actually broken this level. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing turns really bearish. I mean, that's just educate, gaslight, but channel up with a break, new high, testing these. So if you wanted to buy this thing to push up, really, you would want to be doing it down here, wouldn't you? Well, ideally down here, really, but so it'd be interesting to see what happens now if this thing really does turn. So that's interesting. So I'm going to get rid of the bigger one here. I think this is coming down a bit steeper, so let's have a look at this. So 90, perfect. We got sellers at 90. 2 legs up, touch this area, get a short here, touch, 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 touch. I think that's looking okay, but we've got to get up to those sell orders for me, really. There is a second entry short on this side, but that's way too far for the EMA. You're asking for trouble there. Yeah, Marco's looking at that. See, I don't think it's too bad because that's exactly where those sell orders. Maybe not. If we get a lower high, I'll have a go. So there is a second entry short there. It doesn't look like it's going to fit, but we did pick those orders up, but it absorbed them a bit. There are some a little bit more, and there's a doji, which is not good enough, I think. I do think it's reversing, in my honest opinion, but there is always that possibility that we may end up doing something like this. So I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. Those orders are about 3, so there is some orders at about 3, which is there. Excuse me, just a second. Okay. What have we got here? You may argue there's your channel, actually. 1, 2, 3 bars there, but there's nothing here anyway, so we've got to get up here. So let's have a look. What level's that? 2.5. There's not much up there. There is some up there, but there's nothing you can do, unfortunately, regardless of whether it comes down. There's no bar on either of my charts. So second leg up to this level, that would be nice because that would bring us kind of in line, maybe for something. Maybe something like this. Who knows? I think that's a bit too much, to be honest with you. I don't like this gap here. We may end up getting something. We may end up getting something like this. If we can get up here. Who knows? Peng was retired, is he? Ah. I haven't seen anything of him, to be honest with you. You're long guy, yeah? Did he say it in his recent video? Not that I was aware. I haven't seen a video of him for a long time. He's a good trader. He's making money, and I have chatted to him before, and I said because a lot of times he recorded his chart, and I said, why don't you stream? I said I'll pay towards you. And he has other commitments with something. I know he has some health issues as well, and he has other commitments with something. I don't know whether it's something in his family. So he did strike me as it was difficult to get the time to do it properly. So maybe that's kind of why. Okay, we got Max chart here. Okay, this is Max chart. So he's got that channel with a break, 2 pushes to an eye. Yeah, so he's got more or less the same. He's got exactly the same. Yeah, when I say retire, I think he's just retired from videos or streaming or something. Yeah, he doesn't strike me as an older guy. Right, we need another push up here now. Pick up these orders. There is some at 90, but I wouldn't want to take a short there. It would have to be a bit higher, but there are some around about 92, 93. Let's say above there. So I would like to see a move up. I'm guessing he probably just retired from streaming, I think, or streaming, making videos. I don't make videos, really. I've never really made any as such, one or two, but I do believe from hearing from other people, they are time consuming. So whether he's got that time and commitment, I'm not sure. Okay, here's this second move up. So we got a leg with a break. Now, you may argue there's a small there and 2 legs, but that to me is probably 1 leg. I've only got 2 bars on here, really, but on here I've got the red one, the green one, and the green one. So you could say that is, somewhere along those lines. But I'm all right with this. It does look like it's likely going to push up anyway. I certainly wouldn't take a short here because it may trigger and pull up here. I know we got orders up here. There's about 200 contracts around about the 3 level, 2 3/4 to 3. So around about here, which is a tick above there, tick or two above there. So my guess is we may get something like this, and that may come down. And then we may end up having something like this, or somewhere along those lines, or maybe even kind of a spiking channel. And that would be more up there, wouldn't it? It's hard to say at the moment, but I wouldn't be taking anything here. It's just a bit congested. You may argue it's a little bit congested, a fail breakout, but it's just not right for me. But yeah, it looks like it's moving. Yeah, I knew he'd had some family issues or something like that. So you never quite know what goes in people's lives. And, if he's making money and stuff, he doesn't necessarily need to do this. He's clearly a talented trader. There's no argument there. He clearly knows. You've only got to watch him read the markets, and he's super good at it. So, if they're making all the videos, and I believe they are time consuming, is just creating problems. He doesn't need to do it, does he? He's a nice bloke, though. I've spoken to him 4 or 5 times over the last, well, not for a while, but I've had a few little messages to and from with him. So, are they about 3 down here? So, there are some buyers around about the 3, which is there, which is just below there. So, I think there's a chance this is going to come down. At the moment, I just don't like what I'm seeing here. It's not super clear. I don't like the way that dropped below and finished. My gut feeling is we could have a second leg up, and it looked like for a minute that we were going to. It's not the clearest kind of break and retest, is it? So if it doesn't look right, I'll leave it, because if it doesn't look like the normal picture I'd want to see when I'd be taking a short, that tells me that it may not act the same. So I think it's just easier to stay out of this. But sometimes it finds its own way down, and it does its own thing. But it's just a bit choppier, and So yeah, it's just one of the things. Sometimes they just go, don't they? They find the way. It's been a super quiet week for me. I've only actually pulled the trigger once all week. I'll tell a lie. I did it once on one account and that worked. But I got into a trade, got out of it because the market had a bit of a unnerving flicker, but it worked anyway. So on 20 accounts, I think I'm up about $300 a week, which is low, but you never know. Week before last, I had 2 trades in 5 minutes. So it only takes a trade or two. If I take one trade a week, $150 times 20, that's $3,000. That's $12,000 a week, a month, just from taking one trade. So you don't need a huge amount of trades. And if the market just isn't playing the game, you can't force it. You just have to sit and wait. Okay, so market did what? Uh, there was no trade here really. That I didn't like. It closed. It dropped below the EMA, then closed. You don't know whether it's going to trigger yet and push up for 2 legs and clear this area. So there's a no-brainer there. I could have done nothing on either of these charts. I don't think anybody else is taking anything either. No, I can't see I can't see a trade. So we made a new low, and now we're pulling back. So is this a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and then down? Yeah, what I do, Russell, is I work out roughly how many trades I would want to win clear in a week. So if I took 4 trades in a week, let's say I lost one of them, I would be up the equivalent of around about 2 trades. But even if I was up the equivalent of 1 trade over a week, that would be somewhere around about the $600 a month. On 20 accounts, $12,000. So you really don't need a lot. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I work it. When I say one trade, I mean one clear, profitable one. In other words, any others cancelling out any particular losses. I think my win rate is around about 75%, something like that lately. Maybe a little bit less than that. I mean, I went through a month a while ago. I never had a loss, and then I lost kind of 2 in a row. So it kind of goes like that a little bit. That's why I've decided to kind of just I rarely take more than one in a day anyway. So that's why I've kind of gone with a one a day kind of scenario. Uh, you are the goat. You recorded Vlad's Discord call. I am 3.5 hours. I've been watching it 31 hour a day. The amount of screenshots I've taken with timestamps is crazy. I've took 4 reversals because of Vlad this week. He taught price action. The boy did. Really quick. Hmm. I downloaded a video just in case. So much information. Thank you, post. It's all right, man. Anytime. I think his win rate, he goes for between 2 points and 10 ticks. I think his win rate is 95%. Yeah, I like the idea of the reversals. He waits for kind of a reversal and then looks for a second entry long to trigger to come down. So he looks for the break, doesn't he? So we've got a break here, new pushing up. Now, this is quite obvious we've had a break. Sometimes it's not quite so obvious. And if there's a second entry long, a lot of times if it triggers, you'll catch traders going long. So that's kind of the idea I had kind of behind it. So, you know, my thoughts were I'd like to see his chart and have him talk about things and explain things. About there, second entry short. You're not about there, are you? It's only really a first entry there, isn't it? Yeah, see, that one's only a first entry. Channel starting from the second swing. Not sure what you mean there, bud. Second swing, you're about here. You're about that one there when it breaks above there. I think that's what you mean. At the moment, see, it's, you know, I'm thinking reversal. That, I don't know whether it's a bit too shallow for me. So I'm just giving this a bit. It's a bigger bit. Yeah, I'm just giving this a bit of a space. I see what you mean. There is a second entry short that triggers above there and comes down, but at the moment, because it's chopping, I'm just kind of staying out. This touch. I'd want to see some of his charts. I would. I'd be interested to. So I posted it on the Facebook group, and he got right slating for it. So I felt a bit bad for posting it, but I did ask. I did ask Marco. Yeah, absolutely. The trouble is, the way he come over, I think, put a lot of people off. But I've kind of stayed on the fence there. I'm thinking, well, maybe he comes over like that. But as far as I'm concerned, if he's got something to offer, I'm keeping sort of open-minded about it. 84. I'm keeping kind of open-minded because I can overlook the way someone might come over if I think they've got something valuable to add that I can learn from. So about 4 there. So let's get rid of this. There's some shorts here, so we could get a second entry short here. This could be. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? It's hard to kind of fully fathom what you saw. I like the idea of sometimes if we've had a break and some traders don't think we have, and they take, he said he waits for a perfect second entry long and then he takes the short failure. So I absolutely get it. There's nothing I can think of kind of at the moment because I'm kind of in my own way of doing it. I would like to see some of his charts just for a bit of obvious clarity, which I believe, you know, is coming. But I don't doubt he's got stuff to offer. I've spoken to Marco about him. And I've obviously heard about him through the. Uh, I've heard about him through the Max. What's it called? His forum. Absolutely, mate. I've always said that you can teach someone what a second entry is in 5 minutes, but it's applying it to the correct context of the market. Absolutely. It's trying to trap people in the wrong direction, isn't it? At the moment, this is relatively clear. We're coming down, so we're probably not going to trap as many longs. But around this area, uh, we certainly could. So we've got orders here. So if we can get a second, we may get a second entry up here. Just going to get an order just in case.
Order submitted.
Too low. It's got to get up here, really, hopefully, to pick up these orders. So these orders are between kind of 2 to 5. So there's 5. So those orders are around about this area, and that will be 2 legs up. So if we can get a close in and a nice bearish bar, I'd have a go at that. Not only that, we're testing overnight highs, so we want to go up a little bit more, really. Let's bring this down. I don't mind if it's on here, but for me, we got to hit those orders. 5, which is there. Hoping we push in there. If we do, we'll have a go there. Come on, push in. Come on, 3 more ticks. There we go. Okay, so if you get a bearish bar here, I'm definitely shorting this. There are orders slowly dragging this up, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping we get sellers here. It doesn't look like we're going to. That's a shame. Is this kind of rounding off here, which may mean we get a bit of a. Who knows? That's a shame. I thought that was looking okay for 1 minute.
Order cancelled.
Touch. It's okay to get a break. That's fine. So these orders now are around about 90 to 88 there. We are getting this kind of bit of a rounding bottom here. Seven and a half, about 88. That's a little bit lower. There's nothing you can do with that, really. It's a channel with a break. You have to wait for a lower high, really. You don't quite know whether it's going to pick off any of this liquidity. It's just a bit unfortunate, really. Let's get my order up here. Ready.
Order submitted.
These are disappearing a bit. Let's 86, I'd say. See, we could have this with a break and pushes to a new low and this reversing. It's hard to say at the moment. Okay, there are orders around here.
Order cancelled. Not sure if I like that anymore. No setup, even if you wanted to take it. So, looking on that 10,000 tick chart, that doesn't look so bad, does it? Push down 1, 2, 3, bearish bar right on that EMA, testing the tops. Is that going to drop? I think it will. There is a lower high there. I'm not taking that. It's a little bit like that. You just don't quite know what it's going to do. It may just decide to pop back up. It's not.
Ah. See, there is a second entry short there, but I had orders up here, so I could see orders up here, so you don't know how far it's going to go. It came back just below the EMA and then pushed up. So you don't know how far it's going to come down. That's the trouble, if it does come down. There's a 1.75, so a 1.5 back to that EMA. You don't know whether it's going to come up for a second leg and clear some more of this liquidity out. That's the problem. So, just that. It's a little bit, I'm just looking for other channels. It's a little bit sort of unclear about whether we're going to, it is a shoulder, head, shoulder. But there's nothing up here to short that. There is a lower high, but we're right at the bottom of a potential range. So you just don't know. And then we drop below this bar, stop that out, and then pull back. So you don't know whether it's maybe going to come back and test up here. And so there's that many different ums and ahs and that you got going through your head. For me, it's not super clear. So you just kind of got to sort of do what feels right. You have to do what you believe is right, because if you ever start listening to other people, or you think, you feel under pressure, it can affect how you trade. And I've done it before in the past. Other people go, why don't you take this? What, you know what I mean? You have to do what you think is right. And this is a little bit choppy. It's not super clear. And I usually get a good idea if I see other people taking trades at certain areas. And a lot of people, some have got channels here, some haven't. So it's kind of a few bits of mixed feelings here, what people think is going on. Some people have now drawn this. Thomas Way's just drawn this now. So maybe there's, that actually doesn't look too bad. So you never quite know if this is a downtrend. Are we going to get a leg up? You know what I mean? So there's lots of kind of mixed feelings. So you just have to kind of wait till it feels right. Do you think that if tomorrow Snap 10,000 people mastered price action, do you think that would benefit everyone? I don't know, mate, to be fair. I suppose it would there would certainly be more people shorting at certain levels, wouldn't there? It's hard to say, really. It's hard to say. Get another leg up here. Hard to say. Well, there you go, add more. Yeah, Daryl's just said it, add more kind of fuel to the fire, really. I haven't seen many people take any trades today. Taylor took one. He always takes quite a few. Not seen Thomas Wade take any as of yet. Got to get another push up here. It's a big bearish bar there, so we may. Let's get an order up here just to see if
order
we can get
submitted.
up somewhere.
don't take a trade today. I have 1 day left to lose my count. Yeah, it's hard when things like that are happening, isn't it? Okay, so leg. See what we get here. So there is a bunch of orders around here, isn't there? That's very tempting. There is orders at 80, which is a little bit higher. There. So I'm going to wait here. That bar's no good anyway. That's tempting. Trouble is, it's very tempted. Trouble is, you've got some orders here. It's just a little bit choppy here, so I'm just going to sit and wait. We push up and we're going a bit sideways. It may work, but we push up and we go a bit sideways, so I'm just holding tight here at the minute. Got nothing on my main chart. There is one on it on the side. This left chart. I'm mainly focusing on this one at the moment. There's nothing here really, which is things. Just looks a little bit sideways to me. And with those orders up here, I'd just like to see a bit more of a leg up. There's no setup on here anyway. Get rid of this. So there are orders at 70. Just haven't got the space. Just don't like this. It is a bit congested. Gotta be a little bit careful. There's no setup there. Second and short bars now. If there was one there, you may not have even got in that one. I'm just focusing on this one at the moment. I'd like to see it get a little bit higher, maybe even test this area up here somewhere. So 1, 2, 3, triple test maybe, fail breakout. We may get something. You may argue triple test. You can have longs trap there, I don't doubt it, but see these strong orders up here just below 80, which is, it's around about 1 tick above there. We're still a bit congested here. It's not pushing down strongly for me, which means it may pop up, clear any liquidity out, and then possibly have a move down. It may just move down, but to me, this is clearly congested. There is a lower high. There's just no room. So there's barely 2 points.
Order cancelled.
It's a bit frustrating, but let's start trading. Well, what's it? He only looks for one trade a day, doesn't he, Vlad? But he trades two charts. He trades the 500 tick chart of the CL as well through it all. So he has two charts on the go, and he only takes one a day. He waits for a good quality setup, added two trades. So I'm guessing sometimes he doesn't trade either of them. He'll pick one or maybe not another, but it's just one of those things. See, this is clearly going sideways here. Now, I've seen this stuff before, and all of a sudden you get in there and woof, stops that one out, stops that one out, and has that kind of second move up. There's just not enough room to the lows for a start. I mean, if you're taking we're kind of at a lot of support there, but the lows are what, 2.5 points? And that's right from the tick. You come down a tick, 2.25, you get 2 points out of that. And you never quite know, because we kind of move up and then bounce, bounce, bounce. You never know whether we're going to break above it. A lot of times we do before we move down. So this for me is just too choppy. You just never know what it's going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if it shoots up, takes out that, takes out that. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest. So we've got orders up at 80. The strongest ones are at 80, which is there. So if it breaks above there, then it may do that. But sometimes it kind of gives you these and it sucks you in and it can't get below the bottom. And all of a sudden, woof, up it goes. So I've seen this picture before and it didn't end well. So I tend to go with what I'm looking at. And do I get a good feeling about it? And that kind of just comes with experience. See, if I'd have taken that one there, tick below, that one would have worked. That one wouldn't have done. Well, tell a lie, it would have done, because I'd have, you just never quite know. I'll be surprised if this doesn't push above all this here and here. It's clearly chopping going sideways. So a lot of the times before it does what it's done, we push down into it, rattle around, and then out the bottom, I think. But before it does that, I'd like to see it break above here, liquidity here, liquidity here. It's clearly congested, there's no argument. So sometimes it'll just hold and just drop. But when I see this many kind of shorts in here, they're bound to be short in that. It just makes me nervous. Like this stuff that you should be seeing that he's not talking about. See, all this price action here is feathering around this midline. And there's a lot of vulnerable traders here, I think. We're not at the top of the channel. I can tell you there's orders up here. So for me, it makes perfect sense that this pushes up, clears liquidity, and has a second entry short up here. But you never know. If there's enough sellers, it'll push down. But my gut feeling is it's going to clear all this before it goes down. That's if it goes down. So that one's gone. Let's see if this goes next. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. So I'm just going to get a short order
Order submitted.
See if we can get. So here we go, I think. So we're not far off, really. There is a second entry short there, but that is the one that's got to go for me, really. And seeing those orders at 880, those are the ones I've got to wait for. And I have to wait for them because I won't be surprised. If this is choppy, we've had a break out the bottom, I'd expect one at the top. So I've been in this scenario before, and it didn't end well. Now, you may get a short in, this may come down, but I can see these orders are above here and above here. So for me, I'm not interested in a trade until we hit that 80 level. That may hold because it's so tight below the EMA. But look at that bar, it's 18 ticks. Is that going to push down? I'd say quite likely. There's bound to be people selling that for sure. We're only a few ticks away from there, but what I will say about that is look how tight it is under that EMA. As I said before, if a position's strong enough, a lot of times it'll take everything out before there, but that'll hold, and it looks like it may. But that's fine. I got no problem with that. I don't want to get into a 22, 21 tick above, tick below down here. It's just too risky because it's still sideways and choppy, and we're not yet back at the top of this range, and I can still see a bunch of strong orders there. So just have to sit and wait.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, look, we're nearly back at the top already on this bar, on this chart. So
Order submitted.
just in case. How's my session been? Quiet. My whole week's been quiet, to be honest with you. But I spoke to a few other traders who usually do a trade or two a day, and they've said they've struggled this week. I don't know. Is there a reason why? Sometimes, sometimes you'll sit for a couple of 3 days with nothing. Other times, like week before last, I took 2 trades in 5 minutes. So it's just hard. I mean, this is clearly just congestion at the moment. So when you do, you've got to wait really to clear a lot of this. You can see on Bookmap, there's a bunch of orders at 80 there pushing up. So I would have to wait for it to break out. Now, if we hit those orders there, and then I see a nice bearish bar that's clearing previous liquidity, especially that one, and that is 3 ticks below 80. If it gets above there, then I will consider a short as a failed breakout. We've got this move down, one attempt to push higher, second attempt to push higher, failure, comes down. But I really want it to push above there because I know there's liquidity up there, and I can see the orders there. So stops are going to be kind of a tick above there, I dare say, which is 50, and 2 ticks above there is that 80 level. Now, the more times it tries, traders who may, if a bunch of traders have shorted that, you don't know every time it comes up here whether they're just going to be adding to the short. So it may just come down in the end, but I've done this before, waiting and thought, oh, solid, let's go short, and it triggers you, stops you out. So there's a reason that there's a load of shorts up here, because getting in here is a bit premature. It doesn't mean it won't work, but
I've learnt the hard way. And if it means I got to sit here for 3 or 4 days without a trade, so be it. But if I take a trade because I feel under pressure to make money, I'm going to end up taking one that I know I should wait. And when you take those and you lose, that's when you beat yourself up. And when you beat yourself up, it often leads to stupid trades out of frustration or revenge trading. So I've learnt the hard way. You have to sit and wait until a trade jumps in front of it and you go, that's the one I like. And if you wait those trades, you'll win most of them. But it's so tempting sometimes when you haven't taken them for a while, but you have to. It's never going to work otherwise. If you take trades because you feel under pressure or you see other people on Discord taking them, you set yourself up for a fall. I don't need to have millimeter correct drawings to tell me when something is played out. You can tell by momentum. Okay, now we're getting into the right area. So what I want to see now is rejection here. So it's done kind of what I expected to. I just don't want it to keep going up. 2 legs up. So still gotta wait for a decent bar. We've got nothing there. This is an inside bar at the moment. Trouble is, if this is a channel down, which it looks like it, this is a very small break. The bigger the channel, the bigger the break. 95, 98% of the time. So there, that measured move's played out right to the tick. But I would expect a little more than this break, but we are going to find support here a little bit anyway. And if I look left, yeah, there is a little bit around this area. You can see it. We've bounced above it. We've bounced on top of it there. So if it's going to turn down, I would expect it to happen pretty soon. Or I've just got to wait. There's nothing you can do, really. Am I in Vlad's? I am, yeah. There's not much going on there at the moment. I'm just going to kill this at the minute. There's not much going on there at the moment, to be fair. But he is doing this paid. It does surprise me, Vlad, how kind of frustrated he sounds. Quite frustrated and angry, and you wouldn't think that would be a plus for a trader. You know what I mean? But you never quite know with some people. Some things work for some people. It's hard to say. But I know Marco did say to me he's not normally like that. So I thought maybe it's just because of the stream, you know, because there was people watching. But on the Discord now, you know, he's still talking a bit. But I don't know. Sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover until you get to know. But as I say, if I think someone's got some skills, you got to pay. Sometimes you got to put your feelings aside, and if they can help you, and you think the end may get some value out of it, sometimes you just got to kind of, you know, roll with it, so to speak. Is he doing anything in the Discord today? I'll show you. Not really, I don't think. There's a bit of chit chat. When was this? This was about 15, 20 minutes ago. There's not a lot really. I don't know that to put that there. So just a bit of chit chat, but no charts or anything like this. I don't know what the cars are, but I mean, what time was this? Oh, this was yesterday. So when did today start? Yesterday. Oh, either the first comment there, I just put, you know, but that's basically it. Just that. So not much really. I think he's just getting to grip. He's not a social media guy, I did say so. He's probably new to all this, so he probably hasn't got a clue what he's doing. To be honest with you, the first time I got to grips with Discord, it confused the hell out of me. Wilson, shush. It confused the hell out of me. Stop it. So I actually like this. Touch. It visually looks nice. So I would expect a new low. but how far it goes up. So let's just put this mark here there. So I would consider that as overnight highs. Let's put it about there. So we've had a couple of bounces. What time was that? Yeah. So overnight highs around about here. So it may go up a bit further. Let's have a look. So let's just have a quick idea of how far this thing could go. So overnight highs is just below this 50% level. So I don't tend to use these, but it's always kind of nice. You can see there's a level there. And so let's just pop that there as a 50% level. Just to see how it reacts to that. Hold on, was that right? I don't think it was it? Sorry. Sorry if you can hear squeak. It's my dog in the background. No, it wasn't. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's there. Just out of curiosity, see if it does anything when it gets there. So this visually looks like a nice channel to me. But we are coming away from the bottom there a little bit. So when we do that, as we know, a lot of the time we're losing a bit of momentum. We'll have a break. One guy put up his tray on the chart, asked him if he would take those setups. He said no. Yeah, you need to put your own chart up and say, this is what I would do, that's what I do. He hasn't done as yet. It's certainly worth listening to. Apparently, Mac taught him one-on-one for a couple of years. He's been trading 12 years. He's certainly full of confidence. That's it. And my experience is, if you're quite mouthy and you're full of confidence, you're probably pretty good at it. Otherwise, you're going to look stupid otherwise, aren't you? So I'm guessing he's probably successful. So if he trades Pats and he's got a few extra skills, he's definitely worth listening to. I know some people, they'll hear him and they'll go, idiot, I'm not talking to him again. I know there was a few people on the channel said narcissist or this, that, or the other, and are not bothering. But I tend to give people a benefit of the doubt a bit. If he's as good as people say he is, then sometimes you just got to bite your lip, haven't you? Made a big measured move down. It's probably reversing. Let's have a look. So, see, from a Pat's point of view, do I like that channel? Yeah, touch, touch, touch. And it visually looks nicer. Whenever we have a break of a channel, I'd say 95 times out of 100, probably a bit more, we eventually make a new low if it's a downtrend. Now, I've looked at this channel a bunch of times, and it looks okay to me. So my thought process at the moment, this is likely to still go down. So this is going up quite strong at the moment, but I'm not doing anything at the moment until I can get some sort of clarification. But that is the only break we've had so far, which is not massive considering the channel's a fair size. So my thought process, I'm still expecting a new low, but that obviously may not happen. But what I'm seeing here is we got overnight highs, we had a bounce here, we got a bounce, bounce, bounce. So this area, if it's going to turn, this is where I'd expect it to turn. But as I say, there are no guarantees. So it's just, kind of sitting and waiting. So I'm going to tighten this to there. So just as I'm speaking and saying I'm expecting a reverse here, look what's happening. 2, 4, 6, 8 points straight down. So may not work, but let's have a look. So maybe we get 1, 2, 3 bars there, small break, new high. Be coming up to this level. You can clearly see this level as bounced before. We can clearly see that. So, I don't pay too much attention to levels as such, but occasionally I'll have a look. And if you can see something that obvious, other traders pay attention to them. So it definitely help us, get the right context and get the right direction. So we've had a channel down there with a clear break, little channel with a break new high, strong pullback to the EMA. So I'm looking for maybe a little pullback and then another move down. But it doesn't always, come down that steep. It may go a bit sideways. We may, who knows? But my thought process, unless I can see any breaks there, I can't really. I've gone from that first swing, right at the top to that second swing. I'm not bothered about a couple of ticks. The bar could be a little bit more bearish. It's fitting okay at the bottoms. In fact, maybe I could go up a little bit more. It's fitting okay at the bottoms. I can see we bounced here. We've struggled to get up and we're coming down. So this for me is losing a little bit of momentum. So I always expect a break whenever I see that. And I'm usually right most of the time. And that helps me stay out of anything that may be here, which we didn't get anyway. But we've had that push below the EMA. So I want a little bit of a pullback. Rotation of taking just one. Mental, if you are solid enough mental emotions to be sound, to not take a few trades. So yeah, I don't know if you're about me there or not. I don't know. I've already taken a trade this week. I think it was last week or week before. I took 2 trades in 5 minutes. So if I see something, I'll take it. And I've been trading Pats now for 4.5 years, so I kind of know how it works. But, Mac will mark high probability trades and he'll mark slightly more risky trades. I tend to stay away from them and wait for something quite obvious. But some days you just don't get a lot. And I know a lot of us kind of see things, kind of different. Yeah. I kind of know what I'm looking for, where I'm looking to see them. But the trouble is, if you start to feel under pressure to take a trade, you're likely going to make a mistake. But I'll tell you something now, and I genuinely mean this. If you wait for an absolute gimme, they do not fail. They really don't. Really good, strong setups, they don't fail. I can't think of maybe 2 occasions where I'm thinking I got no idea why that didn't work. But, the more you trade, the more you realize what looks good and what doesn't look good. You can always get surprised, but if you take really good, strong setups, they just don't fail. They really don't. I'd expect to win 90-95% of trades relatively easily if I could see high quality trades, which I just don't see at the moment. I haven't seen a lot of them. It's just one of those things. It is frustrating sometimes. But you have to generally do what you think is a good setup. And I just haven't seen. I was talking to Mark yesterday. He was just saying, there's just nothing. There's nothing even in hindsight, when you redraw these channels that he could see. So we do get stages like this where it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And, we come back to these areas where we look to take a trade. We've got no signal bar. I was looking for a pop out, maybe a failure here. No signal bar, but I could see orders up here. So channel break new high. Is this turn right here? Or is it going to pull back and go a bit higher? Because there's liquidity up there. You know what I mean? It's not super clear. So I would wait for a lower high. We got a very tiny break and a new low. So in hindsight, I just can't see a lot. And I've noticed this over the last 4 odd years. Sometimes it'll just happen that you'll go for a period in time where you'll just not see a lot, and then things will change. I think it was the summer before last. It was bloody awful, and people kept saying, "Oh, this is terrible." And I was thinking, I'm finally getting some skills, and I can't find any bloody trades. And then as soon as September, it just went brilliant. I was taking sort of, one every day, no problem whatsoever. But it happens. Take 7, 8 trades in a day. Sometimes take 1 to 3. Yeah, depends how you trade as well. I had a little look at what's it now and again. what's his name? Joe, Trader Joe. I think his name's Trader Joe, or I Am Trading or something. He was very strict on his trades with Pats, and he probably won 85% of his trades. I don't know what's happened with him and Pats, but he said he was doing a new strategy. He's I think the last 4 or 5 days he's been read every day. So, you know, he's changed something, and he's taking more trades, maybe 4 trades a day, I think he took. And he's read every day. So maybe he's not seeing many trades and he's feeling under pressure to do. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. Leg down. If we can get a lower high here, my guess is this is going to come down. Trouble is we've got orders at 85. Let me have a look. Which is there. We have got short orders there, so you don't know whether we're going to have a couple of legs again. I don't, to be honest with you. It's just one of those days again. Channel break, new high. We got to move up. There's no second entry or anything there, really. We've already had a break of the channel and a new low, so I would have to give this a bit of space because you don't know whether it's going to trigger it and push up again. And would have 2 legs down, 2 legs up, and eventually work its way down. No idea. Don't want to take that lower high, in my opinion. That there. No, I'm not touching it. EMA's flat as a pancake. It's a relatively small break. I wouldn't be surprised if... But do you know what my experience is? If you do nothing, the thing comes down. The second you get in, it'll stop you out. So there was a couple of trades back here. One of them worked, one didn't. Forget where it was. I can't remember now. But one would have worked, one wouldn't have done. Forget where it was. But no, you've got to be guided by how you feel and your experience. You know, some may say I'm a little bit overcautious. I think it's better to be on the side of overcaution than careless. So you've just got to try and follow what feels right. It's one of those things, isn't it? Joe seems to have changed his trading or his Traderify cup. Yeah, I don't. This Traderify. Oh, yeah. Taking my losers. Yeah. I don't quite know what he's doing with that. But he's. Yeah, I don't know. It's not working though, is it? But it shows you, I think, when you change things up. I think it's always best to stick to what you know and what you've been doing long, and just try and do it better. So we got buyers there at 75. It's not been an easy week, but I think that's the key, just to keep that patience. And next week, it's another week. You know, one of them things. It's in a competition. You need to adapt. So there are some sell orders at 80 there. So maybe we pull back a little. Yeah, that's not valid anyway. Channel break, new low. It's a first entry really, so there's nothing really you can do there. You've got to wait for a lower high, if anything. So it's not valid. I can't see nothing that's valid here, to be honest with you. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Nothing really here. It's a bit congested. EMA's flat. Push down, and then you don't know whether we're going to do that and then push up to the top here. So I really can't see much. You may argue that's a triple test. Maybe you take it, but I don't know. We push up, whether we trap shorts and push up a bit higher. A bad setup or no setup. Yeah, I mean, if I take a trade now and lose 4 points, the first trade, it's going to take me 2 trades to sort of get back to where I was. So I think you're always best off taking no trade rather than a losing trade. See, if I was trading evaluations now, I'd have probably taken half a dozen trades today. But you know, this is the second time I've had 20 accounts, and I messed around last time. I traded a bunch of them separately. I went for more risk on some of them. I traded them carelessly. I want to kind of do it the right way this time. And if it means, you know, having a bit of teething room, you know, while things are working out, then that's fine. But it's not that I'm scared to take a trade. I just generally haven't seen anything that I thought I really like that. It's just one of them things. I don't even think I've seen Dan take anything today or mark anything. Chart update. Okay, so this is Dan's recent chart. He's put one down here. Whether he'd have took it or not, I don't know. But there's nothing really. He hasn't marked anything. You may think, there we go, lower high, two leg. There's just nothing. It's just one of them things. Yeah, see, if I bring in that one, he marked a trade there, but I'm pretty sure he didn't take it. He hasn't done it there. There's nothing there, so it's just one of those things. Some days you just have the odd week or two that's just crap. And you may get a better week next week, make up for. As I say, if I can average a couple of $150 a week, if I take 3 trades next week, I'm there. So, but even if you take half of that, with 20 accounts, even if you take half of that, it's still $10,000 a month. That's huge amounts of money to be made, isn't it? You know, it's never worth risking things or trying to squeeze things or taking something more risky, because it just stings you. Yes, bud. 20 Apex accounts. There we go. I kind of wanted to get back there while they were cheap, because then I can forget about evaluation and just focus on the job in hand, you know. So it does look like price is coming down to retest these. So what we really need is a couple of legs up, don't we? Maybe a break or something. Are we coming away from the bottom? It's hard to say. I want to get something up here, though. 77 and a half trades, which is about there. 2 legs up to the EMA, this area. Hmm. Come on, have a pull back. I'm getting nowhere near anything, just drops. see, if I take one winning trade, $150, that's $3,000. It's a fair chunk of change. I can get 2 a week, clear winners on average, or even one. $12,000 a month. Maxed out at 20, yeah, 20 is the most you can do. Once I start to get some payments from this, then I'll slowly start to add. I want to start as well out of it to start to grow my own account slowly. 3 or 4, absolutely. I mean, it's not always like this. I think week before last, I had 2 trades in 5 minutes. I think I was up a chunk that week. It does happen sometimes. I'm using bond locks here. I just place one micro contract trade so I can avoid the 5-day rule. I've never used Bottlenocks, to be honest with you, but if you're trading an evaluation, usually you can flip them, can't you? There you go, yeah. So opening, close it instantly, or put 1 tick profit, 1 tick sell, or something like that. I tend to just buy it and sell it, click, click, and you're out. Doesn't really matter if you lose a tick or 2 on a micro. It's neither in nor there, really, isn't it? Okay, see if we can get something up here now. Let me just. So I got orders at 80, which is there, and a bit below actually. So let's pop it around there. So if we can get a little push up, we may get something out there.
Order
Got to get
submitted.
close to that EMA for me. I'm still expecting to test these lows. It's too far from that EMA for me, that is. Bar's naff anyway. It's a tick off a doji. It's too far from the EMA. Yeah, there is. Got to get up here, really. It is frustrating. Sometimes you just get nothing. It's kind of a, why doesn't it work? Why isn't it working? But sometimes it will do that, but that's where that patience really pays off. So you might not make nothing for a week or a little bit for a week, and then all of a sudden something will change. You'll take 3 trades in a couple of days, and that'll completely change the dynamics. So leg up, a little bit of sideways. We get another leg up here. That'll be good. That'll be leg up, second entry short. Testing this sort of area of support. I mean, look where that is. Look where those sellers are there. Why is there sellers there? Because they can clearly see that it's bouncing here, but then sometimes it just bloody aggressive sellers just short it. Give us something now, for God's sake.
Looking for a second entry short stroke fell breakout. Just, I don't like it. There's no room to the lows. It ain't finished yet. It's not too bad. We've pushed up and it's rejected, but I'd have preferred it to go up a little bit higher. We're at the lows almost. I think that's okay. Trouble is, we're so close to the lows. Hasn't triggered anyway, good. Still got hope. See how it's closed right at the lows? Come on, we need to get up here. Another thing I'd have done in the past is when I see that drop, I'd have just sold. Sometimes it didn't even trigger. Then all of a sudden, up it comes and stops you.
Order cancelled.
See, it looks even more congested on the left side. Can't do nothing with that. There's no setups here anyway. It's clearly congested. It might not look as bad on this side. It's clearly a push up sideways, but there's nothing you can do here. You've got to wait for it to break. 77.5. There. 80. Have a quick shove up. Let me get my order ready again, just in case.
Order submitted.
So it needs to break that one, and ideally this one as well. There you go. So if you got in there, eventually you got stopped out. It's got to get up a little bit higher. Trouble if it closed bearish, yeah, it's got to get up. If it closes bearish, it'll close back in here. That's no good. Push up, you damn thing. Go on. This is boring, isn't it? I'm going to get rid of this just in case it shoots up 200 points.
Order
I just
cancelled.
don't like the way it does this. Are they finally giving up? I mean, it is a breakout, but it's just not. I can't see how anyone would want to sell right here. It's going to have to push above this for me. I can see there's loads of orders in this area, so it's taking its bloody time, that's for certain. How long has it been? 18 minutes. 18 bloody minutes. Just doing that. Now push up. Dynamic. Go. So, what I will say is there's some strong orders down at 70, which is right below the lows. Let's have a look. So, my guess is it is going to push down, but it may just go. At the moment, I just can't see enough people wanting to sell it. You really want to get it up here, don't you? But is it going to just, well, who knows? It looks like it may just end up working, but I wish it'd do it quick. It's put me to sleep. There's nothing. That's the frustrating thing, really. There's nothing. You could say that one's gone up to there. You're short there, triggers just stops you out. There's no short there. It just slowly goes down. That's the frustrating thing at the moment. I wouldn't mind if I was missing something. There's just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Blimmin' frustrating. I'm going to complain. Well, if I look on this chart, we're still in there at the moment if it pushes up. It's quite different, this one. There's a load more bigger wicks there. So if I brought that down, if I brought that down to there, kind of fits. I don't know. Who cares? I'm beyond caring. Anything else interesting? Not really, mate. That's where we were last time. What time was this? 39, 55 minutes ago. That was the last comment. So not a lot, really. You haven't missed nothing. That was the first comment of the day, me. No, nothing at the moment. I'm just on Dan's thing at the moment, insulted him. Oh, that's frustrating. It is. We know where we expecting price to go and we're waiting for an entry, but there's just nothing. It is frustrating. On neither charts, I got the best of both worlds here and I'm still getting nothing. Excuse me. I've been going 3 hours, 5 minutes. It's a long 3 hours, 5 minutes today. On the hit. Where'd you get in? Up here somewhere, did you? No new low yet. No, we're a tick or two off, aren't we? Some orders down there earlier, which is a couple of ticks below there. So it is frustrating, though, when you sit here patiently. You know, context is looking okay. Just waiting for a decent signal bar. We had 2 legs up, popped up to where those orders were, and just no signal bar. I know Thomas Wade sometimes will take that and call it a double bar engine. I don't know. It's an inside bar to me. It triggered, nearly came out and stopped at 8, but it's just not good enough for me. And I've got two charts on the go. I can't see one decent trade on either, decent entry on either of them. That's the frustrating thing with Pats. You've got to wait for the context and wait for a signal bar, and sometimes you just don't get to. The context was there. I had a fair idea where it was going, just no signal bar. And trouble is, if you get into a crap signal bar here, so many times I've done it before, and you just get triggered and stopped out, and then you end up getting a beautiful bar up here, and it drops like a stone. So patience is the only way. It really is. No matter what the market does, you can't bully it. You can't just go, oh, sod it, let's get in here and see if it works. Because sometimes you get away with it, but I have learnt the hard way, and I just refuse to do it anymore. I refuse to take trades if they're not clear to me, because it doesn't work. You'll get away with it from time to time, but it does not work. And it took me a long time to learn that. But I'm looking at other traders, and I can't see many orders, to be honest with you. I really can't. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I can't. Can you see orders? I can't. There's really not much at all. Someone's taken one there, short in there. Apart from that, I really can't see many orders. And it was a bit like that yesterday, and I think the day before as well. But what can you do? No setup, no trading. Ah. Yeah, look, someone said board trade. Just be patient. Oh, just be patient and wait on the top gun PA entries. That's all you can do. You do that, you start to get winning trades and a lot less stress. Trouble is, if you take a trade that you knew you really shouldn't have done, that's the one that does the mental damage to you. If you take a trade you believe to be a setup and it didn't work, there's a lesson. Did you miss anything? Did you read the market wrong? So, low of the day, yeah. So channel break, 2 pushes. I wonder if we're going to get a correction of some sort before we push down. I don't know. I think I'm bored. I'm a bit cold now. So I think I'm done for the day. It's been a naff week, to be fair, but this is the worst week I can remember for a long while. But it's just, it is what it is. You can't fight it. You just got to bend over and take it, as frustration as it is. What can you do? Trouble is as well, sometimes if you end up getting a bit fed up, that can go against you as well. I think sometimes you're better off just walking away. Uh, I'm surprised that dropped there because of the way the market looked, but it's running along what could be a bigger channel. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. What is it? 73 there. I don't know. Played out, yeah. See, I still look at this now. This was right yesterday. So we were here when we were talking about it. I said, are we going to get another push up and down? And we put that, if you remember, what happened? It went right downstairs and bounced, boom, right up to the top. 2 legs up, breakout. Let's have a closer look. We pulled down, had a couple of lower entries there, the EMA, and then down. We've pushed up and we're moving down again. My guess is we may have a little correction up to that EMA, but my guess is this is where we move down to. And we may even get a break out the bottom because we had a break out the top. So just for the fun of it, let's do this. I don't know where you would consider. Let's put it there just for the experiment. Let's put it down there. We're at the midline, and then I'm guessing probably somewhere up here. And that gives us kind of similar kind of drop out the bottom. We'll see what happens. We'll come back tomorrow, and we'll see if it worked. But that did what I kind of expected it to. Nice leg down, nice correction, and then straight down to the bottom. And boom, up it went. So can you do? You start squeezing trades, you take losses. You take losses because you squeeze trades, you start getting frustrated. You get frustrated, you take worse trades. You take worse trades, you end up going on tilt and you're back at square one. Nothing you can do. So maybe a channel like that. It's hard to say. Just going to give this, see if we get something, maybe 2 legs or something. Second entry, we'll see. And then I'm going to knock it on the edge for the day. I am getting tired now. A bit cold. got to be a little bit careful because we've had a break and what looked like two kind of measured legs. So you've still got to be a bit careful here. There are all orders here. It would have to be a lower high. No guarantees it's going to come down further. I mean, the 10,000 tick chart is looking bearish at the moment, looking like it's going to continue down. But trouble is, it could still pull back a bit on the 10,000 tick chart, enough to stop you out here. There's no guarantees. It's hard to say. We got a touch here, close to a touch, close to a touch. We've had two legs up to this area, so I've connected those two. So it may well be. Vlad would say a lot of things. So who knows? He's been trading 12 years. I'd expect him to know more than me. So my main concern here is, or bit I'm paying attention to, is we've had a channel with a break and a new low. Now, based on what I can see on the 10,000 tick chart, is this to me looks like it's coming down to this side. It's pushed above there and pushed down pretty strongly, so I'm expecting it to continue down. Now, there are no guarantees, of course, so if I got a second entry short here, I wouldn't want to get trapped, so I'll be waiting for the lower high of failure, and I want to make sure I'm not shorting with a load of potential sellers right above me. So 77.5. So there are sellers there, which is a kind of around this area. Let me get rid of that. I want to know where buyers are as well, about 72, because I don't want to get stuck here. So there is kind of there's a higher, well, two legs up there. There's a big, strong higher low there. So it'd be interesting to see if it breaks above there where it goes. It's difficult data, and it's easy to let that patience just get the better of you, or a little bit of frustration. Oh. Big bull bar there, which is triggered. Hmm.
Okay, I'm done for the day, folks. I've had enough. I'm going to go and stretch my legs. So, where are we? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So, Monday. Enjoy your weekend. I appreciate your company. Sorry, it's been a bit dull this week, but it's just one of them things. It's been just a crap day. It's just not been a lot, really. It's just one of those things. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. So I appreciate your company. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And I'll be back on Monday, getting close to Christmas. Maybe get a bit of Christmas music next week or the week after, something like that. So I'll leave you guys to it. If you carry on trading, best of luck. Failing that, I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.